Welcome back to another Florida State Simmercast. Simmer down now. Second scrimmage wrapped up earlier today, and Jimbo just had his post-scrimmage interview with all the beat reporters. First and foremost, there were no injuries, or as I like to call them, zero whammies. But let's run who was there and who was not, starting with the players that were not there. Levante Taylor has a bruised thigh. Jimbo said receiver's knee bumped into his leg when they were in shells and shorts. He should be fine. McGuire was throwing. Obviously, he's still a couple weeks away. Bobo Wilson was not practicing. Apparently, it's some kind of foot injury. Honestly, that doesn't sad me that much because that means hopefully another big receiver was able to get some first-team reps. Corey Martinez was out, the backup center. I actually think he's second-string center. He's been working with the first team lately since Everly's been out. Murray was wearing a non-contact jersey, fielding punts. Defensive tackle Wally Aime was available and practicing. Freshman Josh Brown was working on special teams units. It's likely he will get in the linebacking rotation at some point, probably in a blowout. Freshman offensive lineman Landon Dickerson was on the second team offensive line. Herman Lane was not dressed out. Some other injuries. Andrews is out with a calf. Notable injuries. I'm not going through everybody. George Campbell was out yet again. I swear he's barely practiced this fall camp. Minshew is still going with the concussion protocol, so he's not back. The four-star linebacker freshman Dontavius Jackson has some personal family issue. It doesn't sound like it's anything bad. I don't know if someone died or what the heck happened. So those are some of the players that were out, and some players that returned that I missed. Rudolph was back. I don't know if I mentioned that already, which was good, obviously. He had been out for a little while. Some players that stood out to Jimbo. He said he really liked Devontae Phillips, who's a bigger-bodied receiver. I think I mentioned him in one of my recent podcasts, how he was back and practicing. So that's nice that he's already impressing Jimbo. Other than that, not a whole lot to glean from Jimbo. It was one of those coach speak interviews, pretty boring. He pretty much was quoted by various beat reporters by saying he saw some good, saw some bad. Didn't see enough good. Basically classified the scrimmage as just okay. The video board is completely up and running now. It looks like the sides of it are closed off where the speakers were, so it looks like it's ready to go, and they were pumping out video on there today. Other than that, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to glean. Some names that came up as far as players that flash. It's funny because beat reporters like to ask Jimbo who flashed at you, and that's not like something they started saying just because that's how they wanted to form the questions. Because over the years, Jimbo's always like, "Well, such and such flashed at me. Such and such, flashed at me." All right, it's a horrible Jimbo West Virginian accent there, but some players that flashed besides Devontae Phillips. Derek Nottie, yet again. And someone asked him if Nottie had made a step this year. And Jimbo's like, oh, he's made a few steps. He said maybe that's why our offense has struggled today, because he's just so disruptive on the inside. And I read a tweet, and I forgot who it was from. But apparently Nottie was, I think, squatting 750 pounds recently in the weight room. And the trainers and coaches had to tell him, that's as high as you can go. Sorry, we don't want you to do anymore. 750 pounds. Holy shit. The first car I had in high school was this piece of shit Toyota Paseo. But it got me from point A to point B. Anyways, if I remember reading my instruction manual, my owner's manual that came with the car, I think it weighed just barely over $1,000. So it's this Naughty was nearly lifting my car. Like that is stupid. And players keep bringing up his name. Like he's tossing around a 300-pound offensive lineman in practice with one arm. I don't think he's going to be like Jernigan good, but with all this praise, and I thought he'd be good coming to the season. But he's getting more praise than I thought he'd receive. Some other praise that wasn't in this post-scrimmage interview, but was actually tweeted last night because Jimbo was at speaking engagement. I think it was QB Seminole Club or Seminole QB Club, something like that. Now you think if he's going to speak to a bunch of Seminole supporters, basically, that he would, ham it up and really just praise the shit out of his team. Well, no, Jimbo's not normally one to do that. However, he was doing that and then some last night. There was tweets coming from, I can't even pronounce the guy's name. It's another FSU beat reporter. I can't remember if he's from the Orlando Sentinel or another paper. Anyways, he tweeted, and I'm only gonna go over this one. There was other quotes where he just basically like he likes his team, but the Francois quote was probably the most interesting to me and a lot of Knowles fans because it's the quarterback, man. You got what's the quarterback doing? The tweet said that Jimbo was quoted as saying, "I'm not going to compare DeAndre to a quarterback that was here a few years ago, as in Jameis Winston, but you'll like what you see." That's what he said. Now for Jimbo, that's basically like saying Francois is the next Marino or the next insert Hall of Fame quarterback's name. Jimbo's not one to give high praises for his quarterbacks, especially young, inexperienced, unproven quarterbacks like DeAndre. So to say that you'll like what you see, that kind of got me. That got me a little excited seeing that. Now, does that mean anything come game time? No. Francois could easily throw a couple picks and suck asshole. But damn, that's not like Jimbo to heap praise on a quarterback. That was, oh yeah, a little excited. I have to calm down now. We are now 12 days away from the game in Orlando. Jesus, 12 days. My very first podcast was titled 54 Days Till Ole Miss. It doesn't seem like that was that long ago. Now, suddenly at 12 days. And again, thank you everybody that subscribed so far. I think the subscription is at 54. And again, 54 isn't much in the YouTube world, but for me, I think it's pretty cool because I really haven't been doing it that long. And I think if I ever get up to 100, I'm just gonna drop the mic. Even though, like again, 100's nothing, but I'm just doing this as a hobby for fun. Like some people that have millions of subscribers, that's their shit. That's what they do all the time. I do this maybe a few times a week, and it's when my daughter's taking a nap. It's about the only time I can squeeze it in. But it's fun to do. Anyways, let me wrap this up. I'm kind of rambling now. Thank you for listening. If you're new to this channel, if you're a Knoll, or if you're just a college football fan in general, feel free to subscribe. I'm really looking forward to when the season starts, because then obviously I'm going to have more content or something more to talk about than just practice. I mean, at this point, it's the final week of practice. It's like I want this to end, and somebody just blew me up on a text. But during the season, I'll talk about more than just the Knolls. See, how other prominent teams are doing. Talk about upsets, Heisman races, all that. I can't wait to just get on here and blab even more than I do now. Anyways, thanks for listening. Again, if you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. And this has been another Florida State Simicast.